then, suddenly we got the bad news that Andy had passed away. We decided that it was just better for us to just carry on with the schedule, just because it was, mentally better for us to focus on music.
Hi Martin, how are you?
Yeah, I'm okay, thanks. You?
First, I'm very nervous. I'm very excited to talk with you. I'm really thankful for your time.
Oh, thanks.
First and foremost, my condolences on the loss of Andy Fletcher, and I can only imagine the difficult moment that you went through. So I want to ask if can you walk us through the process with Dave in order to forge ahead with the Depeche Mode, release the new album, and embark this new world tour?
Well, obviously, all of the songs for the album were written already, and we had it all scheduled for the days when we were due to start recording, and then suddenly we got the bad news that Andy had passed away. We decided that it was just better for us to just carry on with the schedule. Even though it was only 6 weeks after he died that we were due to start, just because it was, mentally better for us to focus on music, focus on something that we knew, rather than, postpone everything and sit at home kind of like, being like miserable from just thinking about Andy's death all the time.
I think part of the DNA of the Depeche Mode have always been like the resilience to move forward, kind of a commitment to embrace the pain, the obstacles, adapt, and look ahead. It happened after the departures of Vince Clarke or Alan Wilder, and it's happening again. So do you feel the same?
Well, it's obviously very different. We have so many firsts now, because, basically we're kind of, we consider ourselves a band, but we're a duo now. So, obviously we went into the studio with just the two of us, which is very strange, when you first do it. And Andy was very social. So, I think me and Dave have never had problems or big issues, but we're kind of more distant. So, it kind of forced us to be together more. And then, we had to do our first photo session without Andy, which was, again, a bit hard and emotional. And now, we've been doing promo, and then we've got a tour to get through, which, I think that's going to be hard, just, looking at the stage and seeing where Andy always was, and he's not there, I think it's probably going to hit us, especially for the first few shows.
It's like evolving and accept and adapt and move forward, which it's very easy to say, but as well, it's a daily thing that you're facing.
Yes. Yeah.
Talking about the album, this is kind of a pandemic-inspired album, and I understand that at the beginning were some doubts about it, but at the end, feels like Memento Mori is like this kind of cinematic journey with this dark opening in my Cosmos' mind, and then it takes us through a very special trip in crescendo through the 12 songs.
We actually recorded 16 songs, and it was very hard to choose the 12 that made it onto the album. We're very happy with it, and we spent a long time working out the right running order for the record, just to take the listener on a nice journey. And I think it really worked. We just really can't wait for it to actually be released now, because we finished it so long ago.
So With Me is like one of my favorite songs. I want to ask you about the story behind that song.
Well, it's a very strange combination of influences. It reminds me of like a weird Beach Boys song, but it also, the chords in it are so strange. It sounds like they got in Kurt Weill to help them write it. they were also given the memo that it had to be a gospel song. So
I mean,
yeah.
it's in the middle of the album, so it's like kind of like a turning point. I mean, for me, it was like a very special moment to hear it from the first time.
Yeah, I mean, for me, even though it's about death, I think there is a little bit of humor in it. Again, you know, it was all the songs were written before Andy died, so you know, even though some of them touch on death, you know, obviously we didn't have a clue that anything was going to happen to Andy at the time that these songs were written.
I understand that Richard Butler of the Psychedelic Force is credited as a co-writer in some songs. So I want to ask about how did you came up with this collaboration and how did his input help to shape this album?
Reached out to me early on during the pandemic and just texted me and said we should write some songs together. I thought, yeah, why not? You know, and we started, you know, sending some things backwards and forwards, and I really liked 6 of the songs that we wrote, and I was thinking these would sound really good for Depeche, but at the time I think we were both imagining that we would use them for a side project, give Richard a call and see, you know, and just lay it out there. I don't know how he's gonna, what he'll think about that. So I called him and said, you know, I've got this crazy idea. I don't know what you think, but what do you think about me using them for Depeche? And he said, I'm happy. I'm happy for you to use them. So, you know, that was great, you know, because 4 of the songs actually made it onto the final album, and we recorded 2 of the other songs that we co-wrote. And we have like 4 other songs that we recorded that didn't make it on the album, you know, in total, that will probably come out at some point later this year or something.
This idea of a side project with him is still in the air?
Well, we've used the songs for the you know, for the band. I mean, I really enjoyed working with Richard, and you know, I think that has kind of made me open to writing with other people. So hopefully, you know, I would like to work with Richard or some other people in the future. And I co-wrote with Dave, obviously, as well for this album. You know, there's one song on the album and one song that's in one of the other 4 that didn't make it.
And I was thinking about Memento Mori as a very special accomplishment, as you are one of the very few bands to release a new album in 5 different decades. So how can you describe the evolution of electronic music in these 5 decades, and how do you see it right now with, I mean, not only with synthesizers, but as well artificial intelligence and all that?
Yes. Well, I mean, things have come on so much in those 5 decades. You know, electronic music wasn't really accepted as a real form of music, really, when we first started. You know, there was a lot of resistance to it, and now it's, you know, it's everywhere. You know, everybody pretty much uses some form of electronics, even bands that you wouldn't expect to. You know, I mean, it is a little worrying that the developments that are happening in AI. You know, you do wonder if, you know, songwriters will be redundant and singers will be redundant. You know, we'll have to see where that goes. But you know, things do seem to be happening quite quickly at the moment. There seem to be quite dramatic developments.
Well, Martin, it has been a pleasure to talk with you. We are very excited to see you soon in Mexico. I mean, all your shows in Mexico City have been magical, and we are looking forward to see you again.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to coming. They're always great there, yes.
Thank you so much. Have a very nice day. Take care.
Thank you, you too.